We are joined by Terrence Park, CEO and SDF Director of Ironmace. You guys just moved into a new studio, a new office in the Seoul area,
Yes.
right? How's that looking? How's it going?
So we're located in Pangyo. That's basically where all the big Korean game companies, like directly outside our window, you could see the NCSoft headquarters. And we actually moved closer to the Nexon headquarters now. So we might have to
going to work.
It's good now because our bathrooms are actually warm. The previous place was basically, it's not like an office complex. As you guys probably know the story, it was like we converted an old jiu-jitsu gym into the first office. So it's like there's a lot of shops and nail salons. Right next to us was a karaoke studio. So once it turned past 7 o'clock, you would just start hearing loud music coming through the walls. And then cigarette smoke would be coming through the ventilation and stuff. You know, it was one of those karaoke places people would drink. So we would have drunk people that would pretty much every week or every night. Yeah. Drunk people, they would think that, Ironmace is an internet cafe. And they would try to knock on the doors and stuff.
God.
Now we're in an actual office. You know, you don't need to worry about those kind of weird things happening. We have our own bathroom. You don't walk in the morning and you're like, oh, okay, which surprise, who vomited where, you know?
Oh, you share bathrooms with the karaoke bar?
With the karaoke bar, there's a billiards, a pool hall. It was a crazy place. Yeah.
Damn, that's terrible.
Awesome.
The really good thing about the new office right now is that we have a lot more space. Previous office, we were just maxed out.
This might be sensitive information. You can say next or pass on this one. But Can you share with us how initial game sales has been? Can you tell us how many copies has been sold?
We sold over 500,000.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you guys still want to release on Steam in the future? Is that still y'all's plan, or do y'all want to stick with Blacksmith now?
The original plan is still we think is the best plan. Once all the legal issue, all that stuff is cleared up, let's go back to the original plan. Blacksmith, again, we had to do it out of necessity. We learned a lot. This is the joke I always say. It's a lot of developers, they always, Steam takes that 30% cut.
Right.
And the thing is, we're in the same boat. Oh man, that's ridiculous, right? After building our own platform, I was oh my God, only 30%? Okay, because now we realize
you're please take my 30%. We don't want the headache anymore.
No, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
So I know there's going to be a lot of talk about the map rotation, and we could go through why we have to go through this way and stuff. But for us, we got a lot of good information about this, and I think because of that kind of information, is that it's going to help lead to a better when we get to version 1.0, when we can actually release it out to the mainstream audience. Is that you guys are actually helping us make that the better product, right?
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about doing a testing branch for Dark and Darker, or do y'all just kind of want to do your internal testing and then put it out to the players?
So, of course, as part of the Founders Pack, right, was the test version, right?
Yeah.
So we're working on that.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of ideas. Once we get the test environment up and running, I think we could start doing a lot more, even crazier experiments, right? Jay Griffey played a lot of Rainbow Six. I like Siege a lot also, but they had that one season where they did Operation Health, right? Because it was in a really poor state for a while. For us, is that we needed internally, even though we're in early access, we had to do, we knew that we need an Operation Health here, and so that's what we're focused on. That's why there wasn't content. There's numerous other reasons too, legal dispute, all this other kind of stuff. We don't have enough, developers and stuff,
right.
But internally, we actually made an active decision to focus on getting the game a little bit healthier before we start focusing on content. Even to this day, we're still being DDoS attacked. We're learning, we're getting better defenses, but at the same time, they're learning and they're getting more sophisticated with their attacks. Like this war going on, right? But besides that, it's just the technical performance level right now is not at a state that we're happy, because to be frank, for us, it's horrible. It's just unacceptable, right? And so we're making these kind of investments right now to get that back up to acceptable level.
Gotcha,
So let me
gotcha.
ask this. I want to know this. Like we say animal forms, right? Is the idea for the druid like I'm turning into like a full on animal, like a bear, like a wolf?
그러면은
Like
진짜로 이제 완전 그 동물로 변하는 건지.
우리 그렇게
예,
하는
예.
지금 원래는 이제 워낙에 우리는 데모폼을 주죠.
오케이.
그 버프를 상대하기 위해서
오케이.
버프 디바깅하고 그리고 데모폼을 변신하고 이런 것들을 만들고 싶었는데 그걸 하기 위해서 이제 드루이드 애니멀폼 같이 연구하고 있는 거예요.
오케이.
아마 그게 먼저 나왔다.
Can you share other animal forms that are maybe like one or two other animal forms for druid? Because we've had guesses in the past
Not
where
yet.
ah we
I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know either.
we need a rat form, guys. We need a rat form.
yes, I was gonna say we want to float an unsolicited idea.
돈 밑으로 지나가는 쥐 이런 거 알게 있었죠.
So yeah, he was saying that there was the idea of like you could become a rat and you could scurry underneath doors and stuff.
Oh
Yes,
shit!
dude, please.
Love that.
Oh yes.
When we've talked about future classes that are potentially coming, like Paladin and Sorcerer, chat always wonders how will they be different than, let's say, the Paladin from the Cleric or the Sorcerer from the Wizard. Can you give any sort of insight, or is it way too early?
So we haven't thought about the exact specific the role itself, but in terms of like the classic archetype, like the wizard is the one that's has a lot of knowledge, and so he has a lot of multitude of spells in his belt, right?
Right.
Where the sorcerer have much limited spell, at once, but they're going to be just much more powerful, right? And he could like channel. Yeah, he wants the wizard to be more of a utility, so it has a lot more utility.
Right.
Whereas the sorcerer is the one that's like just raining down fireballs, meteors, that kind of stuff.
Have you guys thought about like any classes that aren't like a traditional fantasy style class?
기본 클래식 말고 다른 클래스는.
다른 거는 생각할 여유가.
Once we start making some of these the base characters, instead of making like non-traditional characters, what we want to kind of investigate first is doing the multi-classing first, right? But the end goal that we really do want to kind of experiment with is to give people creative freedom with doing some kind of multi-classing.
But what do you think about the current meta of the game? It's very heavily range focused. I'm an old boomer gamer, so I like swords and shields because I have no aim.
He's not a fan of the current range meta. Current rogue and ranger TTK, he thinks is a little bit too high on the upper end right now. For a while, we were trying to kind of rein in the buff ball, and then we reined in the barbarian kind of heavily, especially with we split the stats right from strength and vigor and stat and stuff. We actually had a lot of barbarians on the dev team, not on the design team so much, a lot on the programming and one of the animators, and we were doing that, and they would start hanging out with the design team a lot. Say, hey, why do you nerf? Why do you nerf this?
Oh my!
And then,
So you're getting
The rank system coming out and stuff. Are you guys happy with how the rank system is, or do y'all kind of still want to fine tune it and change it up a bit more still?
current rank system, we kind of lowered the impact of PvP on purpose and kind of tried to focus on more adventuring. We like that the current rank system is kind of focused on adventuring, but at the same time, we hear the call that, hey, okay, PvP is kind of missing its little sandbox too. We've been talking about doing an arena system for where it's a lot more focused on where you could get ranked based on more of the PvP aspect. So the current system right now, the current dungeon system right now is just the base. We want to make extra content that you could, like the arena is one of that, player housing system, guild hall first.
Yeah.
Oh!
We're going to do for sure, 100% for sure is going to be done. We just don't know with our current resources and schedule right now when it's going to be done, but these are things that are absolutely going to be in the game. It's like our original hope and design was like that kind of 3-layer structure, locales, right? So what he's saying is that there's an ice village, there's an ice cave, and then there's another layer called the ice abyss. This is the structure of the ice mountain.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So
Can you give us an example of some of the mobs that will appear on the ice map?
let me 이거 보여주면 안 돼요? But so the caves is the big monsters is we want to come out with the frost giants, the ice skeletons, the ice troll, and the yeti.
The Yeti.
Yeti!
Oh, okay. We talked about the Yeti a long time ago, hoping we'd see Yeti. That's awesome.
What we're going to do with the ruins this time is we're going to really use it as experimental, going back to the original idea of you start in the ruins, you go down to the crypt, and then if you survive here, then you go down to the inferno, right? One of the priority items that we're working on right now is basically the flea market. We call it the marketplace. That's very, very high priority. The trading post right now, we do feel is incompatible with the random modifier system that we have in the game currently. You just have to invest way too much time just within the trading post.
Currently, there is a lot of cheesing that's done to defeat stuff like the Centaur, the Berserker. Is there any plans for rebalancing or changing up Nightmare grade monsters in High Roller to eliminate some of the cheesing? What are your plans for that?
그래서 치즈를 없애려면 일단 이 몬스터가 조금 더 영리해져야 돼. 바라보는 각도에 따라서 공격한다든지 이런 좀 테크니컬한 것들을 좀 클리어해야 돼요. 그것들을 지금 현재 시간이 없어요. 그래서 우리는 치즈를 get 레이드 하고 싶은 건 맞는데 시간이 좀 걸린다.
Okay, so he's saying.
You guys, are there plans for a dwarf skin?
There is plans.
Yeah. 도프.
리저브면을 만들어 봤기 때문에 이제 히트박스 다른 것들을 좀 했죠. 근데 드워프까지 가능할지는 아직은 잘 모르겠어요.
I have a question about levels. So obviously in traditional Dungeons and Dragons, level 20 is like the cap, right? In Dark and Darker, you hit level 15 and you get your 4th perk slot, and then 16 through 20 sort of feels whatever. Is there a plan for when you reach level cap? Is that when maybe multi-classing or the training tree is unlocked?
Yeah. So the originally was you get hit level 20, and then you could do like the Call of Duty Prestige. We call it like a reincarnation system. Hitting level 20 is not the end, is that you start over. And then that was supposed to be tied in with the multi-classes. So you reincarnate, and then now new perks could randomly start appearing. You would try to reincarnate to, oh, okay, I didn't get the perk I wanted, and we get to try it again. I don't know if this is a good system or not, right? So that was the original plan.
Can you give us the ETA on when the content patch is dropping? Like Ice Cave, maybe Druid, stuff like that.
우리가 에이밍하고 있는 건 1월 말인데.
Yeah, so our goal right now
아마도
is,
지금 생각보다 딜레이되고 있다.
it's getting delayed a little. Like, so we just did the internal test on that kind
원래
of shit.
12월에 해주고 싶었는데.
So end of January, maybe later. That's okay.
Okay.
Thank you for playing Dakrandako.
Oh, of course. It's an amazing game. Keep up the good work, guys. And we'll see you on another episode down the line. And enjoy your lunch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good evening, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Have a good
Have
one.
a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.